Embracing failure is not just about accepting that things can go wrong. It's about seeing failure as a stepping stone to success. Each failure provides valuable feedback and insight that helps us grow and improve. By viewing failure through this lens, we transform it from a negative experience into a powerful learning tool. Remember that failure is simply an event, not a definition of who you are. It's an integral part of the journey to mastery, helping us learn, grow, and improve. Welcome to the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, where we explore the keys to unlocking your full potential and living your best life. I'm your host, Jose Johnson. Whether you're looking to make a breakthrough, overcome a challenge, or simply live with greater clarity, joy, and purpose, you'll find the tools and inspirations you need right here. So let's start your journey towards personal mastery and growth right now. Welcome back to the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, your go-to resource for practical tips, insightful research, and inspiring stories to help you unlock your full potential. I'm your host, Jose Johnson, and I am an expert in the fields of mindfulness, mindset, and peak performance. And I am so excited to have you here with me today. And today, we are diving into a topic that is often misunderstood, but crucial for achieving mastery in any field: embracing failure. Now, we often hear the phrase failure is not an option, but what if I told you that failure is not only an option, but a necessity? Yeah, you heard me right. We all experience failure at some point in our lives, whether it's a missed opportunity, a project that didn't go as planned, or a personal goal we didn't achieve. But here's the thing. Failure is simply an event. It doesn't define you. Just because you fail at something doesn't mean that you are a failure. One of the key lessons I've learned over the years, both as a coach and in my personal life, is that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. In fact, I often tell my students and clients that the reason I'm such a good coach isn't because I've always succeeded. It's actually because I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I failed more times than I can count in every area of my life. And it's through these failures that I've learned some of the most valuable lessons. They've shown me what works and what doesn't. And they've helped me grow stronger and more resilient. It's this rich tapestry of experiences, both the successes and the failures, that allows me to guide others on their journey to mastery. Now, one of the other things I tell my clients is that failure is feedback. When you fail, it's an indication that something in your processes, it just isn't quite right. In my experience, there are 5 key areas to look at when you're failing to get the results you want. So in today's episode, I want to help you see failure through a different lens. We're going to explore how to leverage failure as a stepping stone to success by addressing these 5 key areas: the knowledge gap, the skills gap, the importance of timing, the role of mindset, and the impact of decision making. So let's embrace failure together and see how it can pave the way to mastery. And to start things off, let's dive into the first key area where failure often rears its head: the knowledge gap. We all have things that we don't know, and that's just a part of life. No one starts off as an expert in any field. There's always a gap between where we are and where we want to be in terms of our knowledge. This gap can sometimes make us feel inadequate or even lead us to give up when we encounter failure. But acknowledging this gap is the first step towards bridging it. One of the most effective ways to bridge this knowledge gap is by seeking the guidance of an experienced teacher, coach, or mentor. Think of it this way. If you're climbing a mountain, wouldn't you prefer to have a guide who knows the terrain? This guide can show you the best routes, warn you of dangers, and help you reach the summit more efficiently. Similarly, a good coach or mentor can help you fill the gaps in your knowledge, providing the support you need to succeed. Now, one of the things I would always tell my martial arts students is that while there are no shortcuts to success, there are certainly plenty of detours, and my job was to help them find the most direct route. In my own journey, I've had mentors who've guided me through the complexities of coaching, on becoming a world-class martial artist, and even in my musical career. These mentors provided valuable insights that helped me navigate through challenges and avoid common pitfalls. They filled in the gaps in my knowledge, which in turn accelerated my learning process and boosted my confidence. But it's not just about having a mentor or coach. It's also about being proactive in your learning. The world is constantly changing, and so is the information we need to stay relevant and effective. So seek out resources, read books, attend workshops, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Remember, every expert was once a beginner who had to bridge their own knowledge gap. Embrace this part of your journey and use it as fuel for your growth. And let's not forget the power of a good team. Surrounding yourself with knowledgeable and supportive individuals can create a collaborative environment where everyone learns and grows together. Each person brings their unique expertise to the table, helping to close the knowledge gap more efficiently. So if you're facing a knowledge gap, don't see it as a barrier. Instead, view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Seek out those who have walked the path before you. Ask questions, stay curious, and be open to new information. Remember, every expert was once a beginner who had gaps in their knowledge. Acknowledging and embracing the knowledge gap is not a sign of weakness. It's a proactive step towards mastery. So take a moment now to reflect on the areas where you feel you have a knowledge gap and think about who can you turn to for guidance. All right, now let's dive into the second area where failure often rears its head, the skills gap. We all know that knowledge alone isn't enough. It's the practical application of that knowledge that truly counts. Just like with knowledge, we all start with a limited set of skills. No one is born a master of anything. The skills gap can be particularly frustrating because even if we know what we need to do, we might lack the practical ability to execute it effectively. Developing skills takes time, effort, and yes, a whole lot of mistakes along the way. The skills gap can often make us feel frustrated or inadequate. We might see others who seem to have a natural talent and wonder why we can't just do it as easily as they can. But what we often don't see is the countless hours of practice, the mistakes, and the failures that those individuals have experienced. And that's why the first step in addressing the skills gap is recognizing that it's a normal part of the learning process. It's okay to not be good at something when you're just starting out. The important thing is to practice consistently and to seek feedback. Just as with the knowledge gap, having a coach or mentor can be incredibly valuable. They can provide you with specific exercises, drills, and techniques to help you hone your skills. In my experiences as a martial artist, I've encountered numerous skills that seemed impossible to master at first. Whether it was perfecting a complex technique or building the physical endurance needed for a tournament, each skill required patience, persistence, and a willingness to fail. This is why one of my teachers always said, "Ugly practice, beautiful performance." Now, what this means is that if you want a successful end result, you have to be willing to make a lot of mistakes when you practice. So embracing the idea that you have to do it wrong before you can do it right is crucial for your success. But here's the deal. Not all practice is equal. Now, there are two main types of practice: repetitive practice and deliberate practice. Now, when most people envision practice, they usually default to the repetitive practice model. But simply doing something 1,000 times will not always lead to improvement. In the trumpet world, we break down our practice sessions into maintenance routines and woodshedding. Maintenance is spending time practicing what you can already do so that your skills don't slip. Woodshedding is doing the things that you can't currently do well to improve your skill sets. So if you're trying to build your skills, you need to spend more time doing deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is purposeful and systematic. It requires focused attention and is conducted with the specific goal of improving performance. Now, unlike repetitive practice, which might involve mindless repetitions, deliberate practice involves constant feedback and adjustments to enhance your skills. Another effective strategy is to break down complex skills into smaller, more manageable components. Now, this approach makes it easier to practice and master each part before combining them into a seamless whole. For instance, when learning a new piece of music, I would practice each section separately before putting it all together. It's also important to stay patient and persistent. Mastery doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent effort over time. Celebrate small victories along the way to keep yourself motivated. And always remember, every expert was once a beginner. They struggled with the same skills gaps that you might be facing now. The difference is that they persevered through the difficulties. They practiced diligently, and they continuously sought to improve. So if you're feeling frustrated with your current skill levels, take a deep breath and remind yourself that this is just part of the journey. Identify the specific skills you need to develop, seek guidance, and practice consistently. Over time, you'll find that the skills gap will begin to close, bringing you closer to mastery. Now let's talk about another crucial factor in the process, timing. Timing is everything. Now we've all heard this phrase, but what does it really mean in the context of personal mastery and growth? Well, to put it plainly, timing refers to the readiness and appropriateness of our actions within a given context. It's about knowing when to take action, when to wait, and how to align your efforts with the right opportunities. From business decisions to personal goals, the right timing can be the difference between success and failure. But here's the kicker. Timing is often out of our control. What we can control, however, is our readiness and our ability to recognize and seize opportunities when they arise. And when it comes to mastery, timing is crucial because it influences the pace at which we learn and grow. Sometimes we might feel like we're failing simply because we're trying to rush the process. We want instant results, but mastery requires time and patience. It's like planting a seed and expecting a full-grown tree overnight. Growth takes time. So does skill development. Another aspect of timing is understanding when to push forward and when to take a step back. For instance, there were times in my martial arts training when I hit a plateau. No matter how hard I trained, I didn't see any improvement, and it was frustrating. But I learned something. I learned that sometimes stepping back to rest and reflect is just as important as pushing forward. This period of rest allowed my body to recover and my mind to process what I had learned, leading to breakthroughs when I resumed my training. Being patient and waiting for the right moment is powerful. In my coaching career, I've seen many clients achieve success by waiting for the opportune moment to act. It's about being prepared and staying vigilant so that when the timing is right, you can make your move confidently. Timing also involves aligning your efforts with your long-term goals. It's way too easy to get caught up in short-term gains, but mastery, it's all about the long game. Understanding that every small step contributes to a larger goal helps maintain perspective and motivation. So, how do you develop a sense of timing? You can start by being patient and paying attention to the patterns in your life. Reflect on past experiences to understand what worked and what didn't. Stay open to learning and be ready to adapt your plans as necessary. Another practical way to manage timing is to set realistic goals and milestones. Break down your larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks and make sure to celebrate the progress along the way. This approach not only makes the process less overwhelming, but also helps you to stay on track and adjust your timing as needed. And finally, develop a sense of awareness and mindfulness. Being present and in the moment helps you better gauge the appropriateness of your actions. It allows you to respond rather than to react, making your efforts more effective and impactful. Now, in my life, I've found that respecting timing has been crucial. Whether it's in my musical career, my martial arts practice, or my coaching business, understanding when to push forward and when to hold back has made all the difference. Now, there were times when I felt ready to take a big step, but the timing, it just wasn't right. Waiting for the right moment allowed me to achieve much better results. Remember, timing is not just about speed. It's about the right action at the right time. As you continue on your journey to mastery, be patient with yourself and trust that your hard work will pay off when the timing is right. Now let's talk about another crucial factor in the process of embracing failure: mindset. Mindset is the lens through which we view the world and our place in it. It shapes our thoughts, influences our behaviors, and ultimately determines our success. When it comes to embracing failure, having the right mindset is essential. There are two primary types of mindset that we need to be aware of: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. A fixed mindset is a belief that our abilities and intelligence are static traits that cannot be changed. People with a fixed mindset tend to avoid challenges, they give up easily, and they see effort as fruitless. They often view failure as a personal defect and are discouraged by setbacks. Now, on the other hand, a growth mindset is a belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. People with a growth mindset embrace challenges. They persist in the face of setbacks. They see effort as the path to mastery and learn from criticism. They understand that failure is not a reflection of their inherent worth, but a necessary part of the learning process. The importance of having a growth mindset cannot be overstated when it comes to achieving mastery. Embracing a growth mindset allows you to view failures as opportunities to learn and grow rather than as a reflection on your limitations. It encourages resilience, persistence, and a love for learning. Now, in my own journey, adopting a growth mindset has been a game changer. For example, there were many times when I struggled with a particular technique or concept. Instead of getting discouraged, I reminded myself that mastery takes time and that each struggle was simply a stepping stone to improvement. One way to cultivate a growth mindset is through self-reflection and mindfulness. Pay attention to your self-talk and challenge any negative or limiting beliefs. Replace them with positive affirmations and reminders of your ability to grow and improve. Another strategy is to set learning goals instead of performance goals. Focus on what you can learn from each experience rather than solely on the outcome. This shift in focus can help you stay motivated and engaged even when progress seems slow. Surrounding yourself with a supportive community can also foster a growth mindset. Engage with mentors, coaches, and peers who encourage and inspire you. Share your challenges and celebrate your progress together. Remember, mindset is a powerful tool on the path to mastery and embracing failure. By cultivating a growth mindset, you can transform obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into setups for success. Embrace the belief that you can improve and grow, and watch how it transforms your journey. All right, now let's talk about another crucial factor in the process of embracing failure: decision making. Decision making is at the heart of every success and failure. It's the process that determines your next step and ultimately shapes your journey. When faced with failure, your ability to make sound decisions can make the difference between stagnation and growth. One of the key aspects of effective decision making is learning to analyze failures constructively. Instead of seeing a failure as a dead end, view it as valuable feedback. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I learn from this experience? How can I improve my approach next time? This reflective process helps you gather insights and make more informed decisions moving forward. Another crucial element is the ability to assess risk and benefit. Every decision carries potential risks and rewards, and weighing these factors can help you make more informed choices. Now, this doesn't mean avoiding risks altogether, but rather understanding them and being prepared to handle the consequences. Embracing failure involves taking risks, knowing that even if things don't go as planned, you can learn and grow from the experience. Now, in my own journey, I've faced numerous decisions that have shaped my path. For example, choosing to pursue martial arts, becoming a coach, and even starting this podcast were all decisions that came with their own sets of challenges and potential failures. By reflecting on my vision and assessing the risks, I was able to make informed decisions that led to growth and success. It's also about the importance of being able to maintain flexibility in your decision making. Being rigid can lead to making the same mistakes and missing out on opportunities. Being adaptable allows you to pivot and adjust your strategies based on what you've learned from past failures. Now, this doesn't mean giving up on your goals. It just means finding new paths to achieve them. Now, in my own journey, I've encountered many situations where I had to make tough decisions about a failure. For example, there were times in my martial arts training when a particular technique wasn't working for me. Instead of persisting with a flawed approach, I decided to consult my coach, gather feedback, and adapt my training methods. This flexibility and willingness to seek advice significantly accelerated my progress. Moreover, it's crucial to make decisions with a long-term perspective. Short-term setbacks can cloud your judgment and lead to impulsive decisions. By keeping your long-term goals in mind, you can make choices that align with your overall vision, even if they involve temporary discomfort or additional effort. Now, one practical tool for improving decision-making is the use of a decision matrix. This tool helps you evaluate different options based on specific criteria, making the decision-making process more structured and objective. By breaking down complex decisions into manageable parts, you can better understand the potential outcomes and make choices that are aligned with your goals. So here's how you use the decision matrix. Step 1, list your options and your criteria. Write down all of the options you're considering. Identify the criteria that are important for making your decision. Now, these could be factors like cost, time, impact, or feasibility. So let's say you're trying to choose between 3 job offers. So your options would be job A, job B, and job C. And let's say the criteria you want to consider are salary, benefits, commute time, and growth opportunities. Now we go to step 2. We create the matrix. You draw a table with the options as your rows and your criteria as your columns. Assign a weight to each criterion based on its importance to you. Higher weights indicate more important criteria. So your weights might look like this. Salary is most important, so it gets a weight of 5. Benefits, well, they're pretty important, so they're going to get a weight of 4. Commute time, it's sort of important, so we're going to give it a weight of 3. Growth opportunities, well, they'd be nice, but they're not a deal breaker, so we're going to give it a weight of 2. Now we move on to step 3. We score each option. We evaluate each option against each criterion, and we assign a score. So, for example, we're going to use a scale from 1 to 10. In our example, job A, the salary, well, it's pretty good, so it's going to get an 8. The benefits, also good. It gets a 7. Commute time, average. It's a 5. Growth opportunities, let's say we're going to go with 6. We move on to job B. Salary, well, it's not as good as job A, so it's going to get a 7. Benefits, well, it's a little better than job A, so we're going to give it an 8. The commute time, let's say it's a 6. And growth opportunities, well, that's a 7. And job C, they're giving us a great salary offer, so we're going to give it a 9. Benefits are, let's say, a 6. The commute time, maybe it's a 4. And growth opportunities are 5. So what we do is we multiply the score by the weight of the criterion to get a weighted score for each option criterion combination. So in our example, our weighted scores would be job A, salary is 8 by 5 or 40. Benefits are 7 times 4 or 28. Commute time is 5 times 3 or 15. Growth opportunities are 6 times 2 or 12. And we move on to job B. The salary is 7 times 5 or 35. The benefits, 8 times the weight of 4 or 32. Commute time, 6 times 3 or 18. Growth opportunities are 7 by 2 or 14. And then job C, the salary 9 by 5, or 45. The benefits, 6 times 4, or 24. The commute time is 4 times 3, or 12. And growth opportunities are 5 times 2, or 10. Now, we move on to step 4, which is to calculate the total scores. So to do this, we add up the weighted score for each option. And the option with the highest total score, well, that's usually the best choice. So in our example, Job A had a total score of 95. Job B has a total score of 99. And Job C has a total score of 91. So even though Job C offered the best salary, which was our most important criterion, it was actually the least favorable decision. And Job B, which had the lowest salary, is actually the winner because of all of the related benefits. Now, another way to enhance your decision-making process is by developing a strong support system. Surround yourself with mentors, peers, and coaches who can provide guidance, offer different perspectives, and hold you accountable. Their insights can help you see the things you might have missed and encourage you to stay on track. And finally, embrace the fact that not all decisions will lead to success. And that's okay. Every decision is a learning opportunity. The more you practice making decisions, the better you'll become at navigating failures and turning them into successes. So in conclusion, decision-making is a powerful tool in embracing failure and achieving mastery. By analyzing failures constructively, maintaining flexibility, thinking long-term, seeking support, and continuously learning, you can turn setbacks into setups for success. Remember, every failure is a step closer to your ultimate goal. All right, as we wind down this episode, I want to remind you of this very important thought. Embracing failure is not just about accepting that things can go wrong. It's about seeing failure as a stepping stone to success. Each failure provides valuable feedback and insight that helps us grow and improve. By viewing failure through this lens, we transform it from a negative experience into a powerful learning tool. Remember that failure is simply an event, not a definition of who you are. It's an integral part of the journey to mastery, helping us learn, grow, and improve. So before we say goodbye for today, I'd like to share 3 quotes with you that I think sum up a healthy approach to embracing failure. The first is from John Wooden, considered to be the greatest college basketball coach of all times. And he said, "Failure isn't fatal, but failure to change might be." This reminds us that it's not the failure itself that can hold us back, but our unwillingness to learn and adapt from it. Change is necessary for growth. And failure, well, it's often the catalyst that we need for that change. Winston Churchill echoed this similar sentiment when he said, "Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm." It's about maintaining your drive and your enthusiasm despite the setbacks. Each failure brings you one step closer to success if you keep moving forward with the right attitude. And finally, Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time, famously said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." His powerful words remind us that repeated failures are not a sign of weakness, but a testament to perseverance and resilience. All right, we've covered a lot of ground on this episode, so let's do a short recap. We've discussed how acknowledging and addressing the knowledge gap and skills gaps can help you bridge the distance between where you are and where you want to be, and how seeking guidance from mentors, coaches, and a supportive community can accelerate your learning and skill development. We've also talked about the importance of timing. Knowing when to act and when to wait can make a significant difference in your journey. Patience and persistence are key, as mastery takes time. We've discussed the crucial role that mindset plays in how we approach and deal with failure. Adopting a growth mindset allows us to see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. It encourages resilience and a love for learning, which are essential for long-term success. And finally, we covered the role of effective decision making and explored ways to make more informed and objective choices, aligning your actions with your long-term goals. So as we wrap up, remember that every failure is a step closer to your ultimate goal. Embrace the process, learn from each experience, and keep moving forward. Mastery is not a destination, but a continuous journey of growth and improvement. So thank you for joining me today on the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast. I hope you found this episode insightful and empowering. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with others who might benefit from this message. Until next time, keep embracing failure and striving for mastery. And remember, it is what it is, but it becomes what you make it. So make it great. Thanks for tuning in. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind you that the information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional advice or treatment. While the content of this podcast is based on research and personal experience, everyone's situation is unique, and the advice given may not be applicable to all. Always consult a qualified professional before making significant changes in your life. The Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast is recorded at the So Good Media Studios, located in the Candy Factory, a co-working space in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.